Hi, I'm Deepika Grover with Grover Mortgage Group.
And I'm Natalie Van Cardo with the Nat Nate Real Estate Team.
Welcome to our new podcast,
Real Estate of Mind,
where we discuss real estate, life, and everything in between.
We're excited for you to follow us and join in on our journey.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We closed our first deal together.
It was the hardest deal that we did. I think it was my hardest deal ever.
It was my hardest deal ever in 10 years of me doing this. It was my hardest deal ever, hands down.
Yeah. And then can I just say though, like when I put you on it, I knew, I'm like, that's it. We're done. She's got it done. And this is not going to be an issue. So I know you were under tons of stress.
Can I tell you it was an issue? I didn't sleep. So it closed on Friday, which we didn't think it was going to close on Friday. We thought it was going to close today, actually. But then last minute, my lawyer was like, it's done, which I was like, how? Like, I don't even know. But I didn't sleep for a week. Like, I did not sleep for a week. But also, thank you you said like such nice, kind words to me. And thank you so much for saying that, because I thought I was being so awful during this transaction with you because I was being so vague the whole time.
Not at all.
I was like, I feel like I'm not giving her any information about this deal. I was so vague.
No, so let's give the people context because they're like, what are these people talking about? Okay, so I had purchased a place for my clients. And 8 days before closing, they came to me and said, we can't get financing. We're going to have to forfeit the house. And as they're telling me, I'm like listening to what they're saying. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense. There's something off, meaning like the financing aspect. There's something off. Like this should be an easy deal to get done. So then I said, before we do anything, let me talk to Deepika. So I kind of brought you in and you're like, this sounds easy enough. It should be, there's like angles to play it.
Yeah.
But like every layer that was uncovering was just like another hole of disaster. And to our clients' defense, it wasn't really their fault.
Yeah. They're just surrounded by not good people, which is why it's also so important. And we were talking about this, to surround yourself with the correct team. Yeah. There are lots of lawyers out there. There's lots of mortgage professionals out there. There's lots of real estate professionals out there, but you have to surround yourself with people who genuinely care about your best interest, because these clients were not surrounded by those people.
No. And they were literally like, when I was talking to them, it was like, the mortgage broker, he's a friend of ours. It's done. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay. And I also knew what they had, like asset-wise. So I wasn't concerned, but not knowing all this other stuff that was happening.
Yeah, it was just every thing, every day, like not even every day, every hour I would uncover a new thing and be like, okay, this is not how it should be. This is not how it should be.
Yeah, like, well, their original mortgage broker pulled their credit 7 or 8 times
on the same day.
On the same day.
Yeah.
Ruined their credit score.
Yeah.
And then you were saying that you're not even understanding why they were presenting this deal to some of the lenders that they were doing.
Yeah. It was driving me insane, because that's a red flag to the banks. Like when I go to submit this deal, the banks are going to be like, why was the credit pulled so many times? These clients are affluent, they have multiple houses. They're purchasing another expensive house. Why is their credit being pulled so many times? And then it's my job to be like, I just took over this deal. I don't know what the last mortgage broker was doing. I don't know why he submitted this deal to so many lenders that, in my experience, wouldn't have done the deal in the first place.
Which is huge, right? Like that could have saved so much.
So much. And the poor guy's credit was shot. Like it was shot to no fault of his own. I felt so bad.
And he didn't even know. Like
he didn't even know.
That's the scary thing. He had no clue. And then I know when you're doing certain deals, you say, especially if they're this nuanced, that you want them to use your lawyer, which you said at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then we found out that the lawyer that they were using was just playing tons of games, was not looking out for their best interest. And then when you guys switched, their original lawyer was a reason why it wasn't closing on time, which is crazy.
Yeah. He was basically, I don't want to say he was holding funds, but he was making it so that it was very difficult to close on Friday, which is why we thought it was going to close on Monday. I literally called Natalie being like, it's not closing today. It's going to close Monday.
Yeah.
And then my lawyer worked overtime until 6 o'clock to close it because he was like, I don't want the clients to pay per diem because they would have had to pay per diem for 3 days if it closed on Monday.
So just explain that. So like, okay, they original closing date was extended. We paid for an extension. And then they surpassed that extension date. And because they were surpassed that extension date, they would have been charged daily for all these out-of-pocket expenses that the
like for the
seller
client's
had.
mortgage, right?
Yeah.
The seller's mortgage.
So that could have been, I don't know how many thousands of dollars just to get them to Monday. And so luckily your lawyer kept on and didn't just close up shop, which most lawyers
would do. Exactly. And that's why I'm very adamant about using my own lawyers on most deals, unless I know it's going to be a very easy peasy deal and there's, not things to this caliber that are required, because I work with good professionals and I care about my clients at the end of the day. Like I want to make sure, like I wasn't sleeping because I was like, I need to make sure this closes.
This was my first experience in my 15 plus years of a bad lawyer.
Yeah. Fair. Yeah.
And I was just like, the way that he was handling everything, I'm like, what is going on? It was just bad all around.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as it switched to you and your lawyer, it was like smooth sailings.
Yeah.
We're done.
We're done. We're
over.
done. We were just talking. I was like, I learned a lot of lessons on this deal.
Yeah.
And, there's another one done in the books. And it was our first deal together.
Yeah, I know.
Which, it was a slam dunk. It was a good deal. Like, it was a nice deal to get done together, but it was a very difficult deal.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, as much as I know you were under stress, you handled it very, very well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that. I didn't think it, and I was telling my mom, I was like, I don't think I'm handling this well at all, because I feel like for me, I was providing you with zero information because I even had zero information, because I was like, is this going to close? Like, I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm. And the other part of it too, like their other agent, him and I worked phenomenal together. Mm-hmm. So I don't think if we didn't have that rapport, it would have gone way worse, because he would have been flagging his clients, saying like red flag, like freaking them out. Mm-hmm. And because we had that relationship and I had the confidence in you, like that's the only reason that this all came together.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've worked with other realtors in the past, obviously, but you were not like pressuring me whatsoever. And it was literally like 2 days before closing, day of closing. You weren't pressuring me. You were just like, hey, just following up, like what's going on. You weren't like, oh my God, like, is it going to close? Like none of that.
No, we can't do anything. Like I've done my job. You've done your job. Now it's lawyers and funds transferring. Like that is not on us.
Yeah.
So that's the other part. Like I find a lot of agents like overstep what they're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
We also do that because we want a good result, but me coming at you and attacking you, that's not going to get anything done. That's just my own anxiety freaking you out.
So
more,
true.
Right? So we have to understand we're professionals and we need to act in accordance, and that gets lost a lot.
No, it does. And I honestly, I really, really appreciated that, because it let me work with a clear head. And I wasn't like, oh my God, Natalie's pressuring me, or I have to provide her with an update every hour.
Yeah.
Like you were giving me the autonomy to do my thing, that I had to do. So it was good.
And you did it damn well.
Well,
with an A lender.
With an A lender, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just add that one in, because that's huge.
But yes, here's to many more. So
of course.
That's
it's kind of funny because like we know how each other works, but like we finally got to like mesh it together.
And we work so well together. I was also telling my mom, I was like, I work so well with her because you're exactly the same type A as me. Yeah. And we're both like very strong personalities. But for some reason we don't clash, which is good, because I usually clash with other type A people. But we work ridiculously well together.
Yeah, because we just want both people to succeed. Like we're all here just to, like, we have the same goal in mind.
Totally.
So yeah, no, it's good. Good experience.
Wow.
The stress is gone.
It's until the next one, until the next deal. The stress is never really gone, right? Because
but I've been noticing like
the
deals have been getting way more complicated, and experience is coming into play a lot more, where I feel like the newer agent's going to have a little bit more of a disadvantage, especially if they're on their own, because we're dealing with people now that are having issues with financing or They've taken so many loans on their properties. We're coming through like a really difficult time that people have gone through. And we like at the beginning of when I started, it was there, but now it's really here. So I'm glad that I worked as long in this business as I had to have that experience prior to like the bubble that everyone wants to talk about, like that craze. Because agents that are just starting in that, like they don't even know how to properly form a clause. They don't really know how to do like the basics, where older agents have that and they have like the experience part, which is important.
Yes, experience is going to come into play right now. I think who you know is going to come into play a lot right now to get like deals done, to be honest, because you need an experienced team, you guys, on some of these deals. Banks are getting very conservative. They're coming out with new mandates. They're not liking to lend anymore. Like they're being very conservative in this new economy. So, yeah.
And the other thing, like to your point, like you need to know who you're like referring people to. There was no other mortgage broker in my head. I'm like, no, Deepika knows how to do this. She knows how to position it, because when you are doing so many deals, you know where to place them. Like you hear the information, you're like, just like you said, like all these lenders are out. These are the pool that I have, and how am I going to present it to the best of, to these people? Yeah. When you don't have that experience, then you're pulling credit 7 times in a day.
No, it's
and
so
like
crazy.
Just hoping that one of them sticks. But you know your lenders very well and how they review a portfolio.
And we have good rapport with our lenders too. We have good rapport with all the sales managers at all the different lenders. So they really go to bat for us, right? Yeah. Because we feed them so much volume. So, but anyways, we're happy.
It is done.
Don't want to talk about this anymore.
I agree.
Okay, so we want to talk to you guys about a really interesting topic of friendship and motherhood. I thought would be really cool to talk about.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up, because it's something that I deal with all the time. And I've chatted about it with like my friends and stuff and family, but I haven't really taken like a deep dive in. So I'm excited.
I think it'd be good, especially on this podcast, because we can come at it from 2 different angles, because you're a mother and I'm not a mother. So we can have both sides of it, especially because now at my age, I'm going through having some of my best friends becoming mother or thinking of becoming mothers. So it's definitely an interesting experience. So I think it'll be really cool. Okay, so what I want to first talk about is, how did your friendships change after becoming a mother?
Okay, so I would say I was kind of at the part where everyone was having kids at the same time. So we all kind of were able to come together with those like body changes we were having during pregnancy and like all the different things that we're going through, and then like having the kids. So there's a core of us that kind of stick together through that. But the single friends that I had at that time, I think we just naturally distanced from each other. And then one of my friends, she now has kids, and she always used to make fun of me. She's like, are you gonna become like one of those moms that like doesn't have friends anymore, or like is like all about their kids? And I like really try hard not to do that. And now she has kids and she's done that. She's like, I'm not able to like hold space for anybody else other than my children right now. And like, that's okay. So it's just funny how she was thinking she'd be a different way and like kind of reverted.
So how were your friendships before you became a mother? I guess I should have started with that. Like, did you have a big friend group? Did you have a lot of friends in like different stages in your life? Like, what did it look like?
Like after university, I always kept like my core people. I think through like high school and university, you kind of wean people out. And I'm not really into like having people around just because I want so many friends. Like I want quality over quantity. Yeah, that's my version.
Yeah. I have a lot of different friend groups, I would say. It was funny. I was actually talking to my friend yesterday, and I was like, I have friend groups in like every generation, I would say. Like I have Gen Z friends. Yeah. I'm a millennial, like in my 30s. And then I have friends who are in their 40s as well. Yeah. Right? So I kind of am friends with people in every stage, which works well for me because then I can become a chameleon of sorts, and I can be younger with my younger friends and then I can be older with my older friends, and then I can stay at my age with my friends who are my age, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
But now I'm going through the phase where all my friends are, well, not all my friends, but my best friends that are my age are married, and my one best friend just had a baby, and my other best friends are thinking of having babies. And it's a crazy time because I'm so not in that life stage yet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have a boyfriend, and I don't even know if I want to have kids. Like, that's not something I've never had a maternal instinct like that. You know how
Yeah.
some girls, like, since childhood, they know they want to become mothers.
Yeah, that wasn't me either.
That wasn't you either?
No.
Okay, that makes me feel so much
No,
better.
I was
I'm
not
like,
into
am I
that.
missing like something?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I never knew what I wanted growing up, and I didn't like think, oh, I'm going to get married and have children.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
that
you didn't
wasn't
even
my
know you wanted to
thing.
get married. I remember you saying.
No, marriage was not even like a thing
Right,
for me.
right.
So I don't blame you at all. That's
Okay.
normal.
Yeah. I always think that I will probably be able to see myself having kids when I find like the correct life partner.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to just have kids with anybody. Obviously, it's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a big responsibility. Like, you're bringing life into the world. But yeah, it's interesting. I was going to my friend's house last weekend, and I was buying diapers just to take for them.
Yeah.
And it was so funny. I was in 14, I was getting diapers, and I was like, are people looking at me weird? Like, being like, why am I buying diapers? But then I was like, Deepika, you're literally 30 years old. Like, you're at childbearing age. Like, why would people like think
Yeah.
it's weird that you're buying diapers? But it's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Fun fact that I just found out that we're at a time where ladies in their 40s are having more kids than teenage pregnancies,
Yeah.
which I'm like, that is so interesting.
Well, Gen Z is like off sex. Have you been reading those articles?
Yeah, they're just off everything.
Less, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, less people are getting into relationships, less people are having sex, less people are being romantic and like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I definitely can believe that for sure. And because of this cultural shift where women are becoming more empowered to have careers, they're not getting into relationships until later, which means they're not having babies
Exactly.
until later, right? Like, my mom had my brothers when she was 21.
Holy crow.
Yeah, she had 2 kids by the age of 23. I came later, but yeah, she was a child. Like,
I know, like, my grandparents had their kids young too. I could not imagine that.
I don't know. I feel like your frontal lobe doesn't develop until 25. So
Yeah, that's true.
I'm so lucky because everybody I know that I'm close to that has kids or is having kids, I've been able to stay close to because I love my friends. Like,
Yeah.
I adore my friends. Like, my friends make my world go round. It's one of the reasons that I'm okay with not being in a romantic relationship because I have such strong like female friendships. So I was really scared. Like, when my best friend had a baby, I was obviously over the moon for her, but I was like, we saw each other every single week. And I was like, is this going to change after you have a kid? And luckily it hasn't. I still see her every week or every 2 weeks, which my sister-in-law was like, you're still seeing her this frequently? Like, she had a kid. And I was like, no, but that's still my best friend. Like, and I'm very like appreciative of the women I have in my life that also value friendship the same way I do. And they don't let the fact that they have a kid change. Do our evenings and days look different now? Of course.
Yeah.
Now we're not going out. We are staying in and chilling with the baby and watching a movie. But that's still,
amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I prefer to do that. I'm still spending quality time with you. I get to hold your baby like my little nephew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, it's amazing.
Yeah, I appreciate that because like it doesn't have to change.
It doesn't have
Just
to change.
the things that you're doing may look different.
100%.
But I find like and you're like very loving, so I wouldn't see like you being jealous of the baby or like the time difference.
Yeah.
But to me, it's like I'm here. Come by my house. Like
Totally.
whatever.
And also, women, like moms after birth also get lonely and they feel isolated, I'm sure, because
The
they've gone
first
through
3
this
months are
major.
hell.
Exactly. You've gone
They're
through this major life change. Postpartum depression is a real thing, I've heard.
It is,
So
yeah.
I can't even imagine not being there for my friends or me getting upset that my friends aren't giving me attention. Like, I feel like I should be giving them attention. They've just went through a huge body change, a huge life change. Your life is never going to be the same For a mother, ever.
Never.
Ever. Never. Like, you're attached to this person for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And it's way more than a dad is. Not to knock dads. I think
No,
fathers play a huge role. But mother, it's just different. Like, you had this child inside of you for 9 months. It's a different bond.
It's instinctual.
Yes,
like,
it's a different
so
bond.
weird to like, I will know that like something's happening and Nathan will clue in like a little bit after. I'm like, no, I think we should go check that. It's just, you grew them. Like,
That's what I mean. They were in you. My mom says this all the time. My mom was like, you were inside me for 9 months. The bond I have with you, my dad adores me, loves me, is obsessed with me, but it's just a different bond. And that's just biology. That's not us trying to, say men suck. Like, absolutely not. That's
no,
just
everybody
biology.
like as a parent, you create those bonds. And even more so, like some moms don't bond right away with their kids and like you grow into it. But back to just being friends, like your friends going through all the life stages. So like it's just a different life stage. So to me, it shouldn't change. I get like some people get weird about it, but like for me, it's like we're all just going through the life together.
Yeah, and I think real friendship is how you support each other through different life stages.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, you're my partying friend, or oh, you're my friend that I go out to get coffee with, or you're the friend that I like to gossip with. It's like, can we be there for each other during these like real trying times?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Were there friendships that became stronger once you became mom?
Yeah, I think the moms that have kids the same time as me, like we kind of would chat, like, are you going through this? We kind of like created that mother connection too.
That's really important.
Yeah, it's important. The funny thing is though, like you'll notice that your friends have different parenting styles than you do. So it's like, oh, I didn't know you'd be like that. Or like, I'm this way. Like I know one of my friends is very regimented with her kids' schedule. So like nap time was at this time and feeding and all of that. And where I was more like laxy daisy. Like if I wanted to go out, I'm going to go out and my babies can sleep in the car or they can sleep when I get back. So it's just funny to see like how each person is very different or like different perceived.
Wait, that's kind of surprising.
Right?
Knowing your personality that you were so loosey-goosey.
In my head though, because I was a new mom, I'm like, I don't want this baby to dictate what I can and can't do. Because it was more like proving myself that I can go out, I can do these things. And my kids can sleep anywhere. They fall asleep anywhere now.
But okay, so I've heard people say that you have to adjust your baby to your life, not adjust your life to your baby.
Yeah.
So I think
I agree with that.
I think that's really true. And I think that's basically what you did because now your kids are just accustomed to falling asleep anywhere and they didn't.
Yeah.
Like you didn't accustom yourself to their life.
No.
Right? You're like, we're
bedtimes-
busy. We're going to be busy.
Yeah. Like, okay. So like bedtimes, yes, we try to keep at the same time. But like if there was a family celebration or whatever it was, I knew, okay, my kids are going to go to sleep later. And then I found out, okay, my kids actually have night terrors when they go to bed really late. So it's like different like transitions you go through. But at the same time, I'm not going to leave a party early because my kids have to go to bed. Go relax on the couch. That's what I used to do. Like, you know what I mean?
So true.
Yeah.
That's actually so true. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on.
I think this generation is very we're very like scared and like anxious and like timid because we have so much information at our fingertips.
It's
so
the
like
information
every
part,
single thing we like freak out over or we're Googling like, is this normal or is that normal? But like our parents didn't have that. My brothers were born in Africa. You think my mom was just figuring things out as she went.
Yeah. And like the other thing is like, this is the new trend. This is what you should be doing. Like it's the information part.
Yeah.
And for me, my like one goal is to raise my children so they eventually don't need me because that is what you're doing.
Isn't that scary though?
It's scary, but you want that for them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the point of contact where they need everything from me. I want them to venture out and be able to live life on their own. And I'm always there to support. So like that's when I'm doing things, it's with that intent.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I love that. I think a lot of parents don't want that. Like I think a lot of parents always want to feel needed.
Well, so I listen to Dr. Amen all the time, and he says like the parents that do everything, you're taking that away from your kid. You're proving to your child that they can't do it, that you have to do it for them. So I'm fine to help you, but you're going to try it first. If you need help, ask for help. I will come and help, but you're doing it on your own first.
Are you going to be one of those parents that encourages their children to move out like at a younger age?
I don't know. I think like if they go off to university, I would love them to have that experience on campus. I didn't have that. If they need to come back, like they're always welcome, but I want them to either like purchase their own place or do something that they're not like living in my basement. my whole life. Yeah.
No, that's good. That's really good. Yeah, that's really good. That builds I didn't have that either. I stayed at home throughout university. So I feel like I didn't get that independent aspect of it. And now because I work so much, like I don't cook and I don't clean. I do my laundry and obviously like I clean my room and stuff.
Yeah.
But I could, like if I was living by myself, I could do it.
Yeah.
But I will kind of sometimes wish I got that experience of living by myself.
I got to a point, I'm like, I can't live here anymore. Like I just
you need
grew
your
out of it.
space.
I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
So
That makes
I'm
sense.
gone.
Okay, this is a good question. How easy or difficult is it to make new friends as a mom?
Okay, I think as an adult, making friends is difficult.
Yeah.
Regardless. I think it may be easier when you have kids because it's like, oh, let's have a play date. Let's do this. You're using your kids as like the crutch of having a meeting.
But do you ever actually become like genuine friends with those moms?
So I'm at my early stages of that, right? Because I have kids that just kind of started school. I would say some automatically, yes, we've created that.
Okay, amazing.
Others, it'll take a little bit of time. And then some now I'm realizing like, no, we're not on the same wavelength.
But you still are okay with your kids playing with their kids?
Yeah, I realized I don't need to be best friends with my kids' friends, like parents.
Yeah.
I just need to trust them that if my kid is going to go to your house, that you have their best interests, right? But yeah, I don't.
Is that scary for you, leaving your kids at somebody else's house?
At the beginning, it was. So like one of my daughter is obviously older, so she was doing it first. And once you like meet the parent and get a vibe for them, you're like, okay, it's okay.
It's fine.
But like I still interrogated her when she came. Like she's like, where? Like, who was there? Where did you go to the bathroom by yourself? Like you're just scared because of all the information and like fear mongering. But I find like I love having kids at my house.
Okay.
My kids behave better when they have their friends over too, which is good.
Yep. For sure.
So it's I don't know. Some you'll click with, others it's more like, hey, how you doing? That type of thing. But yeah.
When's the last time you made a friend in adulthood?
You.
I know, I was thinking that too.
I didn't think it was you.
No, I literally was thinking that too. Yeah. So it's possible because there's a lot of like conversation around how impossible that it is to make friends as an adult. And I agree. It's obviously a lot harder than when you're in university or college or when you're in school. But it's not impossible.
And I find we started networking groups and that sort of thing. And then from there, these two ladies that are older than me, we've kind of become, we do our own networking. And I find them, like I'll consider them friends and they're way older.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think in this stage of life, it's okay if you're friends with like older people or younger people. I think it's easier to connect. Whereas when we were younger, it's a lot harder for you to connect with someone like 5 to 6 years older than you when you're like 18.
Yeah.
Then versus now, like you're 5 to 6 years older than me and we are so close. You know?
I find like just learning other people's wisdom, I'm like, oh my God, like how was that? What did you go through?
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it's interesting because I'm learning from you because you're a mother and you're married and you have been for a long time and, you know, you're a successful businesswoman. So I get to learn from you. And then I hope you get to learn something from me.
I learn from you all the time.
It's like, I don't know what you're learning from me. But I love having friendships in different life stages. Like I've learned that like making friends in your adulthood is so like it's so good in that way.
I think you can like your friendship from like being a child, they're easier to make, but they may like fizzle out and you may not have that connection or you're just being friends because you guys known each other for so long.
There's a lot of history there.
It shouldn't be the reason. Where like nowadays at this age, I'm only going to spend time with people that I care about.
100%.
I'm not going to waste my time on someone that I don't generally care for.
Okay, I have this universal rule, which I think is just like a truth, like a universal truth, which is people will make time for who they care for.
Yeah.
So if people are not making time for you, it's just a perfect indicator that they don't care for you. Do you agree with that?
I agree with that 100%.
Yeah. It's helped me a lot in my life, where I've gone through phases of people not reaching out to me or me being the only one making plans and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
same with me.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, if they really cared about me, they wanted to see me, they would make plans. If they're not reaching out to me, let it go. Like it is what it is.
Yeah. Like back in the day, I was the same person. Like I would be like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. And then, you know, it wasn't reciprocated. And I'm like, why am I'm always feeling crummy when I'm around these people. Like if we do end up going out. So I'm like, I don't like it. But now, I think obviously a relationship is both ways. So like if I make an effort the first time, then I want them to make an effort the second time or whatever it may be. But yeah, no, I agree that if people are not making you a priority, not that you have to be like talking to you every day.
Yeah.
But like, hey, we generally want to like meet up and hang out.
Yeah. 100%.
That goes with like dating too.
That goes with everything. Nobody is too busy to respond to a text or to pick up a phone and make a call.
Especially nowadays. Like if I know certain people, like my phone is attached to my hip.
Yeah.
If I'm not answering you, it's because I'm avoiding you.
100%.
Or the truth is I'm either with my children and I need to leave it flagged so that I know to respond back. If I open it, then there's a good chance if I don't respond to that second, then I will not get back to you.
Yeah.
But that's just being busy with the mom.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, that's so true. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you form genuine connections with other moms? Because you said you're not friends with all the moms you meet. I think it's like the same. If you just click, you click. I don't think it's...
Yeah, you have to have like similar interests. I find if you have similar parenting styles too, and like disciplining your kids, not saying like you can't be friends with a different disciplinary style, but I just find like it's easier when you're like in a group of people if you guys are all similar, opposed to like one kid acting out and the parent like, oh, just leave it. Like you kind of all want to be on somewhat even playing ground with handling kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Have you ever had to set boundaries or manage expectations with friends post-motherhood?
I'm going to go with no. I think with my sisters, we did like, so my oldest sister had kids first. And for us, it was like, we were always together. And I
can imagine.
That took an adjustment for like us to realize, oh, like her priority is like her family now. Like that's weird. But like we just go around and support. But like that was more of an adjustment period for me and my younger sister of like realizing what that was, opposed to friends now. No, I don't think I really had to do any of it.
Yeah, it's so funny you said that. I had the same reaction when my brother got married. I cried the day before his wedding.
Aww.
Yeah, because like growing up, it was always me and my two brothers, and they're both significantly older than me. So I've always been, you know, like coddled and babied, and like we've always just been extremely close. Like knock on wood, we're very close. So the day before his wedding, I went into his room and I bawled. This was like, I think almost 10 years ago now. And I was like, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, you're getting married. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, it's never going to be just us three again. Now it's always going to be the four of us, which I love my sister-in-law so much. Like she is the best and they complement each other so well. But like you said, you had that realization where, oh, it's not just going to be us anymore now. Like, cause now his priority is her, as it should be. But it's just, it's still a change, right?
Yeah.
So,
or it's like, I'm wanting to talk. Why can't you talk? Like just certain that I didn't realize it because also I was significantly younger where I didn't have friends going through that. So I'm like, what's going on? Why is she like not talking to us now?
100%. And now that you're a mom, you're probably like, oh, now I get it.
Yeah. It just comes with experience, and like having your own kids makes a huge difference.
Did you go through this phase where, not a phase, but did you go through a realization where you appreciated your parents more after you became a parent? I've heard that's a thing. You're like, no.
Okay. I love my parents.
You're like, absolutely not.
I think, okay. I didn't view it as an appreciation, which I do appreciate them. I think it was more Like my mom will always say, I don't know how you guys do it. Like you got so much things going on. But then I'm like, how did you do it? You had 3 kids and like we were all at different sports. We all had like crazy schedules. So in a ways, I forget a lot of what happened as a kid. So like that part, I don't really remember that clearly. What I will say of what realization I had becoming a parent is like any baggage you have from your childhood, from whatever, it will play out when you become a parent. So you got to like deal with that.
You got to make sure you're not passing it on.
Exactly. Because you don't want your kids to have like the same hookups or whatever that you have. So it's like, oh shit, this is an issue. Let's look at that and not pass it on.
There's
to
a
my
reason they
kids.
call it generational trauma.
Honestly, for real.
Wow, that's crazy.
It is. And unless like you're willing to break those issues, then they'll continue.
So what kind of things are you self-aware now about the things that you're trying not to pass on to your kids?
Yes. Yeah.
Like what kind of things? Like is there anything specific?
I can be like very anxious with things and like just the words that I'm using, and I'll hear my daughter repeat it. I'm like, oh no, you shouldn't be saying that. So it's more like my internal self-talk that she may see. Like if I'm doing something at the house, I'm like, oh shit, I'm so stupid. If I did something wrong and I'm like, oh, I can't do that. So like just certain things like that. I know like she's very anxious. I get very anxious. So just teaching her how to deal with it and teaching her how to deal with it properly in turn makes me deal with it properly. Yeah. And then just being like the parent that I wanted at that stage is also very healing. Not saying that my parents did it wrong. It's just that we have a lot more information than they did.
Yeah. And the I know your parents aren't immigrants, but the immigrant thing also takes a big toll.
Well, they came from immigrants.
Yeah.
So like they had to learn the language. Like they had to learn English and their parents didn't really know English. So like there was certain things that they had to deal with, or like just the old way of doing things where nowadays I'm like, this doesn't really serve us. Like I'm not going to do these huge elaborate parties. I'll just do something that we
like an
to
intimate.
do. Yeah. Like certain things I'm like, I don't want to do that. Or like if somebody passes away, like it's traditional to do these things. I'm like, why? Like I question a lot of things where they never did. They just kept doing the tradition.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. That doesn't sound like something I want to do. So I'm not going to do it.
That's literally, that's with everything. Even weddings in Indian culture, our weddings are 7 days long and they're this huge, elaborate extravaganza. And the more I go to weddings, because I've been to a lot of weddings, and now that I'm getting to the age where I'm like, okay, like maybe I'll find someone soon. Like I want to settle down and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, I don't want to have this at my wedding. I don't want to have this at my wedding. And then I talked to my mom about it and I'm like, why do we do this? And she's like, I don't know. It's just always been done.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not a good answer.
No, really.
If you don't know why it's done, we're not doing it.
Yeah. If something has like really cool symbolism, okay, maybe I want to keep that. But for the most part, I'm like, no, I had to do a large wedding. My husband wanted it. I did not. I wanted to like go to Italy and get married.
Well, Greek Italian weddings are big. Yeah.
They're big. My younger sister just had immediate. I'm like, that's perfect.
That's what I want.
Yeah. It was very intimate. I like that. But like I had to do the huge thing.
Did you have it here?
Yeah.
How many people did you have?
350.
Yeah. That's a lot for,
Yeah. I didn't eat.
Yeah.
I like had to like talk to everybody. You don't really get to enjoy it. Whereas like if it was a small setting, I feel like I could have enjoyed it more.
So for me, I grew up, so it's funny because I never grew up wanting to be a mom, but I always grew up like imagining my wedding. I was always one of those girls because I'm so Bollywood and, romanticized and all that kind of stuff. So I've always grown up knowing, like I joke with my friends and family all the time. I'm like, I know what I want. Like I know the dress I'm going to wear. I know who's going to do my henna. I know who's going to do my makeup. I know my videographer and photographer. Like I know my venue. All I need is like the man now, So it's like I've had everything planned, but it's funny because when I was younger, I always wanted this huge, like 1,000, 1,500 people wedding. Like I wanted to be the center of attention. And now I'm like, I want literally 80 people on a beach somewhere. And like, that's it. Like I want like immediate friends, immediate family. Like that's it.
I like the 100 number. Like that's good. That's it. The show where they like decide if they want a wedding or a mortgage?
Marriage or mortgage? Yeah.
I would pick mortgage every time.
100%. I know.
Need the marriage.
I know.
Well, I don't need the party.
Yeah, I'm getting to that point too. because Indian weddings are huge. My brother had a 700-person wedding,
Oh my God.
which was still like kind of on the smaller side for Indian weddings. Like
Yeah.
I've been to like 1,300 people weddings, which at that point it's like you're just inviting anyone you've ever made eye contact with.
Yeah.
You know, it's not necessary. I want just people, and I'm glad I didn't get married in my 20s because I would have had that bigger wedding. And now that I'm more clear on what I want, like,
Yeah.
which is exactly what you were
Yeah.
saying too.
No, I agree. I don't know. Not into the production.
We're not into the show anymore. It's getting too commercialized.
When I hear like if I'm out and I hear people like planning their wedding, I get like hyper for them. I'm like, do you really need that?
I know.
Do you
And
really
it's
wanna do
okay.
that?
And another thing is it's so expensive now.
It is.
Weddings have gotten to a point where they're easily $200,000. I am not spending. Oh my God, yeah. I am not spending $200,000 on a wedding. That's a
put
down
that
payment
my
for a house. Yeah. Or take like a really lavish, like around the world vacation if you know what I mean.
Yeah, just to show people that we love each other.
Yeah.
I love you. Let's
No.
get married. We're done. Bye.
Also, okay, this is a controversial take. Why do we celebrate weddings so much? Why are they so big and like celebratory?
Yeah.
Why are like job promotions not as celebrated, or a career change, or graduating, or becoming a doctor? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is it
so
weddings?
This is my take. I love the idea of love and celebrating it, like showing everybody, hey, we're committed. I don't understand the grandiose part of it.
Yeah.
I'm like you, like I want to celebrate every aspect of life and all the different stages. I don't think the wedding needs to be like this huge thing. And you know how everybody says, "Oh, it's the best day of my life."
I was just gonna say that.
I think having my kids were the best days of my life.
I think it'll be one of the best days of my life. I can't say it will be the best day of my life. My life is more than me being married.
That was my thing. I just never, like every time ladies would say that, I'm like, "Oh, how was it? It was the best day." And I'm like, "Really? Like that's your highlight?" Of like,
No.
I don't know. Are we weird that we don't find that? Also, like nowadays we have a high divorce rate. So this like I get back in the day when like women needed the man in order to survive economically and all of that. And it was like the trade-off. Great, let's celebrate it. Now I think we're both essentially coming in at equal playing fields, ideally. And then like it's just so much stress on the couple. It's not like, oh, it's so amazing and like everybody's getting along. Like every family drama comes out. Like I can't sit this aunt by that aunt. It's like who gives a shit?
And then your guests always have something to say about it, even if you throw the most like extravagant wedding. Oh, the food wasn't good, or oh, you know, this music wasn't good, or whatever. People always have something to say.
Okay. I'm in my I don't give a F era. I don't want to be in positions where I'm going to be judged for doing something. Like show up, enjoy yourself. I don't need you to judge it. I ain't going to judge you if you like whatever it is. I'm just coming for a good time to support you. If you have the mentality that of you're going to judge, I'm out. We're not the same people. You're not my tribe. You know?
The judging thing is huge, especially in the Indian culture. People always have something to say. Always.
That's the same with the Italians and the Greeks. It's like, oh, they didn't do this. I remember for my bridal shower, it was a tea themed because I was like really into tea. And it was like a tea party. And instead of having cake, I had like a 3-tiered.
Yes, like high tea.
High tea.
Yeah.
Okay. One of the aunts on the other side said to my mother-in-law, like, oh, there's no cake? Bro, do you even eat the cake at a shower? Nobody eats it. There's so many other desserts.
Other pastries,
the hall gave you dessert. There's a dessert tower right in front of you. You realized I didn't have a cake?
That's crazy.
Like,
It's
I'm like, this
always
is
something.
ridiculous. So I'm just not into it. This is why, like, small, core, supportive, love it.
100%.
Yeah.
So true.
Took a while to learn that, though.
Let's get back on track.
Yes.
Why did we start talking about weddings?
As my phone just keeps blowing up.
I know. I'm like, is it your kid's school again?
No, it's not.
Okay. Oh, this is a really good one and something we've talked about in previous episodes as well. How do you deal with mom guilt when taking time away from your kids to maintain friendships?
Okay, so I think I'm getting better with it, but mom guilt is like extremely real. I've just learned that I need to do certain things to replenish myself in order to give back to them better. So honestly, happy wife, happy life, because if the mom is happy, then the kids are happy, the husband's happy. If the mom is struggling, then it's going to flow to everybody. Like truly the mom is like the key factor for the entire family.
That's true. Every time my mom's in a bad mood at home, like nobody's in a good mood. Like you can tell
Honestly,
the vibes
yeah.
are off.
Yeah.
But if my dad's in a bad mood, obviously we still care, but it's not the same vibe.
No, it's like, okay, he's grumpy. Let's
Like
just move on.
yeah.
But like if I'm angry, like no, it's a hurricane in the house.
100%. I know this is something you struggle with even when we were booking our podcast convention, like to Texas, and you were like, oh, like now I have to figure out what to do with the kids for a week. Like, and you were like kind of like running around being like, oh my God. And it's like,
yeah,
so I know it's like something you definitely deal with. And I know a lot of moms deal with it.
Yeah.
But like, so how have you gotten better with it? Like, do you have any tips and tricks?
I think it's just over time. Like at the beginning, because the first 3 months, you're really not leaving your kid.
Yeah.
So like after that, you start venturing out. I just notice I feel better coming back into my house after having friend time or doing a workout or like whatever it is. So when I come back, I'm a happier person and my kids can feed off of that.
And you probably notice that your kids aren't like dying if you're not around for a couple of hours. Like they're probably doing just fine.
Nathan is competent. I know other people don't have that. My kids will get fed. My kids will be taken care of. He's good. The trip is like the first trip
that you're doing
for
without your
week
kids.
Without my kids.
Yeah.
Again, Nathan's competent, but it's like it's the summer, so they're off. I'm like, I had to like logistically make sure everything works.
And like they're in camp or they have activities to do.
Exactly. And I'm like, oh, what is like soccer or like their other schedule is going to look like? Because typically Nathan finishes work really late and I'm the one that's doing all of that.
Yeah.
So it's just making sure that they're okay and like set up for success. And then I can be like, I'm good.
And I think I'm glad you brought up the competent partner part, because I think that's a huge component to getting rid of mom guilt. Because if you don't have a competent husband or a competent dad, then that's.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I'd be somewhere and like getting calls all the time. I get worried because I get nothing. I'm out. I get nothing.
You're
and
like,
I'm like,
are you guys still alive?
right? Or I'll call like if it's like close to bedtime. I'm like, so are they going to bed yet?
And he's like, yes, of
He's
course.
like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we're going up now. I'm like, okay.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when you told me, you were like, yeah, Nathan's good with us going. And I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
That he's just okay with having, I mean, he's a dad. Like, okay, we shouldn't be like, oh my God, it's amazing. But it's like, that doesn't exist a lot where, the dad is just
certain guys
okay
don't
with
like it.
taking care.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a big help.
Yeah, no, it is.
My other friend who just gave birth as well, she's actually going on a bachelorette for, I think, 4 or 5 days when her baby's going to be 5 months old.
Yeah.
And the dad is ecstatic about taking care of the baby by himself. He's like, oh yeah, we're going to have me and my son. We're going to have alone time. Like, it's going to be so fun. We're going to have like quality time. You deserve a break, like whatever. And like when you're back, maybe I'll go away. Maybe I won't. But I'm like, this is such a healthy relationship.
Yes.
Like, I love this. And this is, I think, what makes you not lead to like midlife burnout or like a midlife crisis.
No. And I know like I have friends where like their spouse had like a lot of opinion of like
what you should or
doing this. Like, and I'm like, this is your own body. I used to get mad at one of my friends because she had such a hard time breastfeeding. I had a difficult time. And then I had Joel right away. And I'm like, I can't be feeding one kid and the other kid running around. Like I need to be able to be mobile. So like I had to give him a bottle in order for me to like survive. And like she was like constantly just having to do this. You could tell it was taking a toll on her body and her mental state. And I'm like, why are you still like putting yourself through this?
Okay, can we talk about what is with the stigma that you can't give your child formula? Why is there so much pressure behind breastfeeding?
Breast is best.
No,
Okay.
and fair enough. But if somebody is not able to produce milk or produce enough milk, you should be able to supplement with formula without being judged.
So again, it comes to like what people think is the right way. I was surrounded by like my sisters and my mom who was always, that didn't really matter of breastfeeding or not. It's more like, what can you handle? So like for my first daughter, I did it for a lot longer because she was the only one around
that you had, yeah.
But then she had issues. Like she was always spitting up. So we never really knew how much she took in. So I had to like give her like a thickened formula because she was like, whatever. Then she was colic. So like, was it my diet? Like there's a lot you need to think of. By the time Joel came, Al's was a year. I breastfed him for the first 3 months. And then I said, I can't, like, I need 5 arms to deal with this. So no, I just didn't do it.
You did formula?
And I didn't feel bad.
What's there to feel bad about?
My kid's eating. I don't know.
A formula has all of the nutritional things that you need in. Okay, yeah, I'm sure. Like I know they like equate breast milk to like gold, which I'm sure it is, and it's great.
Yeah.
But my thing is, if you're not able to do it, or if you're not able to produce enough for your baby's needs, it's okay. It's not the end of the world.
And like at that time that you're going through it, your body literally is depleted.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you like just gave all this nutrients and all these resources to this alien inside of you. Then it's out. And then your body, like your hormones are trying to regulate. Like you're not okay for the first year. Like really. Everything's trying to get back into like alignment.
You don't even get your period back for some time.
It's a disaster. Your hair's falling out. You just feel crummy. And then you're putting on that stress that you need to like feed this child and then make sure that you're getting all the nutrients in order for you to feed this child. Because if you're eating crummy, your kid's eating crummy.
100%.
I feel bad for the women that do put that stress on them.
Yeah.
I really do. Or like that birth plan. They had a birth plan. I'm going to play this music. It's going to happen when it happens.
Oh my God, the birth plan is iconic. I feel like all of that stuff goes out the window once you're in there and you're giving labor. Because every labor is different. Every birthing experience is different.
I did not go to Lamaze. I literally.
What is Lamaze?
Like they teach you how to breathe and stuff.
Oh.
Didn't do that. I did not have a plan. I just showed up. And I'm like, my body will tell me what to do.
I mean, biologically, women have been doing this for centuries.
Yeah.
So.
All went well, knock on wood.
It's so funny. You had both natural births, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Do you think women are good at asking for help, or do we try to do it all?
I'm a do it all.
I think we really try to do it all. I think we try to stretch ourselves as much as we possibly can.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at asking for help, like with my family. But they will tell you that I do too much. Like they tell me all the time, why are you doing that?
I mean, I can even tell you that you do way too much.
Yeah, like so now that I'm helping coaching my daughter's soccer, they're like, you need to give something else up. Like that's way too much. But for me, I'm like, no, I can do it. So yeah, I put a lot on me, and I'll tell you a story. I have lost a friendship because I was being sympathetic to something that they've said. And like she's saying like, it's too, like there's too much. She feels like she gets home too late. She's going to pull back from work. And I just said, like everyone has to like do their own thing that's good for their family, like supporting. And like, I have had to like kind of scale back because of Nathan's job and whatever. Me scaling back is still working full time.
Yeah.
It is still doing everything. But in my head, I'm taking on less. But if you look at the average person, I'm still doing
You're
a
doing
lot.
more.
And then they turned around and like weaponized it on me. And I'm like, oh, we're not really good friends. You don't know me that well for you to like use that. And I'm probably still doing triple that you're doing.
That you're doing, yeah.
So like, we're done. So that's the other thing. Like, I feel like women may weaponize it or judge, and I'm not there for it.
What's there to judge? Everybody's capacity to handle things is different.
I think it's more like it goes back to like people competing. Like, have you ever been with someone and like they're like looking at what you have, and then you're like, oh my God. Like I'm not into that.
I went through that when I was younger, and I quickly realized that those are not the type of people I want to have in my life. Like people who are always like, oh, what are you wearing? Or like, what do you have? Or what are you doing? It's like, I don't have time for this like insecurity, jealousy, like it's the competitiveness.
That's my thing.
Yeah. And
I want
think
you to do
women have that more than men.
Oh, 100%.
Why are we so competitive with each other and like so easy to tear each other down? I don't think men do that.
No, the average man does. They don't have time.
They don't have time. And they just don't think like that. Their brain doesn't operate like that. Like they don't ever come from like a catty place.
No, we can get catty real quick.
We can get,
I am not like that.
I think it's because women don't like strong women.
I know you've said that a lot.
Yeah, I really believe that.
So I always like, when me and my sisters are together, my brother-in-law always said, like, you guys are very intimidating. And I'm like, why are we intimidating?
Like all of your sisters? Like
yeah. And he's like, you guys are just too strong. It gives off the wrong vibe for some people. And I'm like, that's pretty sad that strong women will give off.
Society does not like strong women. Yeah.
Right? And I'm just like, why? And like certain things will play out. And I'm like, why are like people like jealous or whatever it is? I'm like we all want good for everybody. I'm happy for what you have. I may not want what you have, but I'm happy you have it. If someone has something that I want, I'm still happy for them. But I'm like, oh my God, I can strive to that. And like that's a goal of mine. But I can still be happy for you.
I'm the exact same way.
I don't want exactly what you have.
And like, even if you do, you not being happy for someone who got what you want is scarcity mindset, because now you're thinking that I'm never going to get this.
Yes.
Like my friends being married does not take away from the fact that I also will be married one day. It's just not my time. So why would I not be happy for them? My best friends having babies is not going to take away from the fact that I will also have a baby one day. Why would I not be happy for them?
And they will all rally around you when that happens.
When that happens for me.
Like,
exactly. 100%.
If the person's giving up that vibe, then I put a hard stop to it. Like I like draw the line in the sand, because I've been with relationships with that and like dragged out a friendship, and I'm like, ooh, no, you're not happy for me. So yeah, that's a hard line.
I think you need to be happy for your friends and your family and all the people around you. And I think it comes back to you tenfold.
Yeah. And then, okay, so if it does give off like, oh, I want that, or like a little bit of jealousy, think about like why you feel that. And I always, if I get that vibe, it's like, oh, maybe I'm not feeling like I'm doing enough right now. Like literally I'm like, oh, I'm not putting out enough effort, or I'm not doing something. Or
let that inspire you and be like, how can I get there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, oh, I hate them because they have that. Like, why?
Yeah.
You could have it too.
You can have it too. Exactly. Like it's not, there's so many resources in this world. Like it's not.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not for it.
No, I'm not for it either. But
I'm glad. That's why we get along. We are very independently strong, and that's we don't clash because
I think we know that we can both be strong and both be thriving, and it's not like a threat to the other person.
Yeah, and like if your friend is going through a hard period, drag them with you. Like bring them up, help
100%.
them. Don't 100%. Just like, oh, like, I don't know. Don't weaponize what they're going through. And if you're a good friend,
people are going to want to be good friends to you for the most part.
Yes.
For the most part. Like, okay, yeah, sure. I'm sure there's like some, you know.
But I'm not going to judge my friend because she's having a hard time. But yeah, I think women are scared to show that they're vulnerable because we do live in a catty society. And also, I'm just not good for asking for help. Yeah. Because I feel like I can do everything.
I'm not good at asking for help either. I know.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I burn myself out and I'm like, okay, I should ask for help.
Yeah.
And that's something I need to work on as well, because I look at asking for help as a weakness when it's absolutely not.
No, I know.
That's another, like, that's obviously like an internal thing that I have to work on. But yeah, I'm the same way.
I agree.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I have.
Those were good.
They were really good. This is a really, I
hope we didn't like offend people on our answers.
I don't think so. I think we had really good answers.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And let us know if you want more conversations like this, and we will bring them to you.
Awesome.
Enjoy your days, guys.
Bye.
Bye.